Uh-oh. Hello.
Hello.
Hola, amigos.
Hello, hello.
What's up, little guy? What you doing, buddy? What's up, Bugs? Well, he is wide awake.
Man, you're muted.
He is definitely wide awake. He's a little fussy right now. He's been exercising all day, though, so you know. Oh, Lord.
Oh, poor baby. Hey, not another one bites the dust tonight, okay?
No promises.
Damn it. Gotta look at my character sheet. Stim back up, because I'm like, real.
It's funny. I have to go the week after we play to write my notes down from what we did last time. I was like, oh, what did I say you found? Oh, that's right.
sure Paul would have this just like on a loop on the ship the whole time they're driving. Just in case those pissed all the time. He's just like rolling his eyes. Again, next track. Alright, when we get famous, I want Kevin Hart to play Baldwin.
That's a hell of a casting choice.
It's either that or Jack Black. You know. And I haven't taken advantage of my damn cantrip.
You have a cantrip?
Yeah, I'm gonna make the ground shake every time I walk.
Ah.
Intimidation. Yeah. Yeah, 4-foot Doug. Just all muscle. Just a little badass. I can do earth, wind, or fire. I can like put up lights. I guess I could knock out the fluorescent lights or LEDs, whatever's.
Nice. Nick, you here?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can.
What up, Nick?
Ooh. Let's see. So where did we leave off? Oh yes, I was being mind raped.
Maybe. Turn this music down a little bit on my end.
Pinball Wizard? I don't know. I was enjoying it.
No. That was Ted. And we can't have that because then you won't be able to hear the VOD.
Sorry, I killed it.
Alright. Okay. So, we last left off last week. Last.
We don't have licensing for the Who?
Of course not. The party encountered and defeated the Dashad Kemval, the Devourer of Souls. And then they went through a couple of passages, and they investigated the last resting place of Tulak Horde, his tomb. Looking around, you saw an obsidian sphere. That's really hard to say with a stuffy nose, by the way. Obsidian sphere. Obsidian sphere dome. In the center is a large sarcophagus. Propped up against the back wall was a 20-foot tall tablet depicting the life of Tulak Horde and his accomplishments. Scattered around is like a pharaoh's treasure chamber just trinkets and odds and ends and vases and antiquities and shelves upon shelves of just random stuff all around. To Sel's keen eye, she found a relatively humble-looking jewelry box containing inside of it a hand decoration that is covered with chains and a bracelet that connects the chains to rings on each finger, and each of the rings is encrusted with gems. Amick,
So much
after
better than your shiny pebble.
shiny
And
pebble.
then she snaps her fingers, and half of the universe is gone.
She snaps her fingers and loses the finger.
No.
No. And Amick, open the sarcophagus.
Sorry, spoiler alert. No, sorry.
Oh, please, man. You can't go anywhere on the internet without figuring that shit out.
Right.
Just watched it last night.
I went to
You're
the
good.
movie just so I could understand the memes.
Right. Amick opened the sarcophagus, looked inside, and clutched in the skeletal remains of Tulak Horde was a holocron, which was a three-sided purple pyramid, and on each side was another three-sided pyramid. Crystal lattice is shown on the inside of this holocron, and on all the edges are encrusted with gold and carved with runes. After seeing that, Amick looked at the helmet and said, "Oh, that's a pretty cool helmet," and decided to pull the helmet off of Tulak Horde's skeletal remains, and his spirit came out of the helmet, and that's where we left off last week.
It seemed like a good idea. at the time.
Great idea at the time.
Right.
So,
Looking back,
This is
no.
why you're not allowed to touch things at the museum.
It's fine.
Spirit.
It's fine.
We're not at a museum. We're tomb robbing. I'm robbing a tomb.
What?
Raiders
We're
of the
robbing
Lost
this
Tomb.
place.
Yeah. Boa looks just like Laura Croft. Predator hair.
I
Okay,
mean,
big puffy
Bulba's-
lips,
I'm
too
sure
big of a chest.
Bulba's got a nice ass, you know? Like,
Thanks.
with
Too
bad
all
you
that
never see it,
fat
'cause
that's
it's
all,
on
like-
you, man. Like, solid cores.
Yeah.
Right.
Working on my glute.
Always got the
Too
booty
bad
bag.
his ass is his shoulders because he walks on his hands. So you got a nice butt behind your neck. Alright. So, Amick, what do? You have a spirit starting to poke
what
its
was the
face.
Last thing that happened? Last thing I remember happening was like me taking a shitload of damage. Right?
No.
What was
That
the
was
last thing that happened?
During the fight.
That was
with
during the fight.
Guardian.
You took no
I'm
damage
at
from this
19
spirit.
HP. Didn't I take a big ol' hit when I took?
You
touched
got
this?
engulfed inside, and you were getting digested.
What happened
and-
when I touched the helmet? You made me make a save or something.
No, you
yeah,
didn't die.
no damage was done. It was for something else.
Or you didn't become this.
Okay, and then what happened right after that?
So right after you picked it up, his spirit, when you failed the save, his spirit came out of the helmet, and that's
You
where
mean
we left
when
off.
I made the save.
Did you make the save?
I don't
You
know. I
did
got
make the
last-
save.
The last
23.
roll I have is a 23 on a
You
Constitution
did
save.
make the save, and the spirit came out of the helmet.
Okay.
So no damage from it.
Did he say anything?
Mm-mm.
Avic's gonna look up at him and say, sorry, this is yours.
You're looking at Tulak Horde and asking if it's his.
Yeah, because I'm just holding his helmet with his head
Okay.
in it, right?
No, his you pulled it off of
Take
his
it
head, so his
here.
skull is
Right,
still
his
inside.
head would come off. That's right. Even though
Yeah.
I rolled well on the athletics. That's right. I remember that. So
Yeah.
he's just holding the helmet. He's like,
Just a helmet.
"Sorry, is this yours?"
Yes, it is. Why have you disturbed my doom?
Skathos.
Resident weird shit guy?
Yes, Amy. Just
I made a friend. He's asking why we're here.
well, don't go right ahead. Don't let me interrupt you.
Purely educational. History.
Oh, okay. Well, we're here to collect Sith artifacts.
Well, you have come to a fine treasure trove of Sith artifacts, as I was the creator of many of them. But I don't feel like sharing with you.
It's okay, you don't have to share. You're dead. We'll just take it off your hands.
Gee.
Say please.
I'm over
Well,
here taking the jewelry boxes.
There's no need to be rude to such a commander in the presence of his own crypt. No need to be so rude. Perhaps he could be persuaded by some means or another.
Okay. We can persuade them. Mr. Dead Man, we're here to take your stuff, but we take really good care of it. And I wink.
The spirit looks to Cell, and it just shakes its head, and it looks back to Skathos. Just kind of floating in space. It's kind of like the upper torso now, so it's from the neck, just seeing the top of the shoulders, and looks at Skathos and says, "Don't let that one speak again, or you will all be engulfed in eternal darkness."
Oh dear.
Gathos is gonna shoot Cell the nastiest look. Don't you do it, Cell. Don't do it.
I'm gonna put my hands up like. I'm not gonna say that.
Pull on the tether, just like.
So,
I'm gonna be over here rummaging through crap then.
make a stealth check, please.
23.
Okay.
Jesus.
So you rummage
I already
quietly.
Had I already pulled the holocron crystal out of the?
No,
Probably
he's still holding it.
Uh,
You left it there, and then you went straight for the helmet.
so, Amic's gonna reach in, just kind of ignoring the spirit who's like looking at Skathos, and like
Mhm.
grab that crystal and pull it out.
So you got the helmet in one hand and the holocron in the other.
Yeah.
So, you wish to appeal to my better side. I would like to hear your proposition.
Well, I know that you yourself are a man of great means and unmeasurable power. Perhaps some sort of offering could be in mind, or a show of our own capabilities.
Or better yet, do you have an undone deed that you wish to fulfill?
There is nothing in life that I did not accomplish that I wanted to. Everything I did was done. I was only murdered by my apprentice, and that is it.
You want
But I
that
don't hold any fault to her.
Oh.
It is how our ways are.
That makes things simple, I guess.
Sure you don't want us to take your ashes to some nice lake out in the country?
I mean, this place is pretty nice. Have you checked it out?
Shh.
This particular place lets me hold on to the afterlife. an extent which would be unobtainable by someone as powerful as I am in the dark side.
Yeah. Hey, question about that. Is there a reason why you want to stay around? If you fulfilled everything, don't you just want to? I don't know what happens after you die. I figured you're just going to nothing, but that might. I don't know. Do you have a reason for being?
Roll me an insight check.
Okay. I got a +2 on that. Let's see. 12.
12. Okay. So, you have dealt with Sith before, and you know that lying is all in their nature. You get that not everything is on the up. On the up and up.
Yeah, that's why he's fucking with them.
That is why he's fucking.
Alright.
He says,
So if we took you to Naboo and placed you by the lake, you really wouldn't have power anymore. You would just cease.
I would find a way to maintain powers, just the well of the dark side is stronger on this planet.
So it would benefit for us to secure you. Because you're not now.
Is that a threat, young Doug?
No, just an observation. Like I said, I'm trying to help.
If you really want to know what it is that I held most dear in life, you must do something for me in exchange for this information.
Like
But
I
of
said,
course, you name it and it shall be done.
Bring me the heart of Kemval and place it upon my chest in the sarcophagus.
Ooh.
Kimball.
Scathos, do you know who that is?
I think I read something about the Kemval name. I believe that was the other friend that we encountered earlier on the way in.
Oh, the creature?
The big one.
Oh. Well, here, hold these. How long are you wagers going to take me to cut that thing's heart out?
And do
It depends
that
on which
the
tool
way
you
out?
use.
Probably a lightsaber.
But actually, from the outside, it would take quite a little bit, yeah. Probably 30 minutes with
Like the
lightsaber.
last thing we do before we leave.
Well, I'll be back. I'll go get it.
The last thing.
Scathos make some kind of like a nature or like
Oh, wait.
arcana
Hey.
check to know like what happens with the force power after the force devourers eat it. Like, is it like stored in their hearts and like this is like a thing that could potentially transfer to this?
Yeah, roll
somehow,
me,
or-
since what we're doing for the force is arcana, so give me an arcana check for that.
You got it. 25.
25. Yes, the heart is the vessel of the souls and dark side collected, or force energies collected, and can survive. The hearts of a Dashad could survive for hours outside the body, maybe even days, depending on
So he's
how
not
many
dead.
souls they've eaten. And
Can Volwa determine the capacity?
Like how many souls he's eaten?
Yeah. Like how powerful are we gonna hand something over?
Yeah, make me a history check for that. And to finish off, you would know, Skathos, that, or you would assume that anything with that amount of raw force energy, it's not just dark side, but it's just raw force energy, would have some kind of adverse effect on death. Or,
Okay.
yeah, have some effect on death.
Yeah, it's this many fingers.
You rolled a 1. What's your plus?
1.
So you got a 2.
Yeah.
No idea. This is the first time you've ever heard of this creature.
Yeah, it looks full to me. I don't want to do it.
Okay, and Nick, you were saying you wanted to do something?
Yeah. So, Amic's got that helmet and crystal in his hands.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna try to leave the room with them.
Okay.
And he's gonna go say, "Alright, I'll go get his heart. Be right back."
Okay. When you go to walk through the large archway with the runes, you walk through it, but your hands get pulled behind your back as the helmet and the holocron get stopped at the doorway.
Ouch! Okay, somebody take these.
You can set them down.
Over.
It's kind of like your hands are stuck on the other side of this wall. It's like holding a.
Amic, like, looks
Hear this
down
pitter
at
patter of little
Cell.
cell feet scampering over to grab them.
Oh god.
Like, Amic looks at Cell, he says, "Skathos, come take these."
Yes.
Gathos is gonna slither over and take the 2 objects off of Amic.
Alright.
I'm
I'll
gonna
be
look to both of you and then put my head down and kind of walk away, barely muttering to myself.
I need Skathos to make me a Constitution save, please.
Got it. 12.
A save.
Oh, don't be a bitch.
So.
Ah,
An 8.
Oh god.
even better.
Oh.
You see the spirit of Tulak Horde shift. He's been watching you this whole time, and he, like at light speed, swiftly moves directly into the helmet, and the eyes flash on the helmet, a deep purple glow, similar to that of the holocron. And what you feel is a tugging at your soul. And you feel like you're in contest with the spirit within, but you resist it. Even with your 8. For this time. And the eyes stop glowing, and the spirit's Tulak Horde's spirit returns out of the helmet. I would suggest not leaving with my things until I am done with you.
This is precisely why I was bringing them back into the room. We're going for your heart. Just give us a moment. By the central stars.
I need, I'm gonna let everyone give me a history check on Tulak Horde.
14.
Okay, good. Okay.
Ted, you're muted.
What'd you get, Ted?
Does anybody else hear Tulak song from Shrek when he says that? I got a fucking natural 2, so no.
Okay. And, you got a 12? Scathos?
Yeah.
Oh, God. All right. So, what you have heard of Tulakord is that he is known as the Lord of Hate and the Master of Gathering Darkness. He was a Dark Lord of the Sith that ruled during the early Sith Empire, around the founding times. So this would be still 5,000 maybe or so years previous to your current timeline. You know that he was a commander of a great many armies, and he controlled and captured and controlled over 100 systems in his lifespan. And he's not someone to be trifled with, but you also know that I would say, you know what, Scathos, give me another history check, please.
Got it. 22.
22. So you've kind of been dabbling in some Sith stuff recently, and you get a feeling after being in brief contact with this entity's soul that he had developed a process of life transference, and he had a way of transferring his spirit into another body and completely taking over it, obliterating the host spirit and having a new body. You also know that it was a ritual that had to be done, and there were key elements. There were 4 holocrons that were needed. There was the Eye of Tulak, which was a key artifact in the ritual of life, of the life transference. And you know that he, above all else, wanted to be the greatest known Sith of all time, but he was only known as the greatest swordsman of all time. Of his time. He was not the greatest Sith, but he was the greatest fighter. And he wanted more power, more renown. And elongating his life would allow him to do that.
All right. Now, Amic, perhaps a means of renegotiations are in order. Maybe perhaps Volwa was onto something with his earlier conversations. If our host is going to insist upon these terrifying tactics, to say the least, then perhaps he is not so much in need of these vital organs and the like before discussing the details we came for.
Well,
Well, Mr. Tulak, are you going to continue to be so forceful and terrifying in our presence? Or do you want to have this heart and the conversation as promised?
In touching your spirit, I sensed the Sith about you, the dark side. I could help you learn could teach you many things. If you bring me that heart, you will have power unimaginable. How does that deal sound to you?
That sounds most
And
agreeable.
that was in your head, by the way. I'm sorry, I should have said that. That was in your head.
Damn it.
He'll just kind of like nod his head and then just continue moving the helmet and the holocron further into the room.
Okay. So, essentially, he can't do anything at the moment. He is his spirit is settled. You get the gist that if you were to transfer the helmet off to someone else, that he would attempt to perform a life transference on someone. So currently he can't do anything because he's contained. So you are free to look around further if you wish.
Cell's definitely been doing
Hey,
that.
Lowe's, do I go get the heart?
I suppose so. Our host has calmed down again and kind of wobble these artifacts around now that these are back into the room.
So Amik is going back to go carve out the heart. All right. Cell, you were snooping around for more shinies, I assume.
Yes.
All right. Give me an investigation check, please.
21.
God damn your investigation. All right. So you're kind of just looking around, and do you take a look at the sarcophagus any?
Probably so. If like the spirit guy went away to the door, like when he wasn't at the sarcophagus, that's when Cell would kind of start snooping around it. Like, oh,
Okay.
he's gone. He doesn't need this stuff anymore.
Okay, so you look inside. You don't see any kind of arcane or Sith runes that would denote a trap. That you've seen kind of these symbols before, similar to the
Doorways.
entryway. So it's clean. What you do see is a piece of what looks like cured flesh in what seems to be rolled up in like a scroll.
Oh, I'm taking
tucked,
that.
tucked next to his body. And, you know, what's strange is, you know, for someone who's supposed to be such a great warrior, you don't see any weapons here. There's no lightsabers, there's no swords, no blades. His armor is ceremonial, not functional.
I'm gonna take this rolled up flesh,
Mm-hmm.
this jerky, whatever it is,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna start looking around for weapons or like, you know, kind of feel around things, see if there's like maybe a secret door that'll poke out, you know, and like there's a tray of weapons or something like that. I'm gonna start looking around for.
Okay.
What? he would have
Yeah,
used for
looking
weapons.
around, what you see is more offerings, tributes than anything. There's nothing there that seems out of the ordinary besides just being lavish nothings to a dead person.
Can I? You said this was rolled up like a scroll. Can I unroll it and see what it is exactly?
Certainly. What you see on it is you see a diagram that has a square in a circle, and then there is an X in the center of the square, and in the corners of the square you see 4 planets. They're descriptors, the names of 4 planets. You see Dromenkos, Tatooine, Balmora, and Alderaan.
I'm gonna tuck that away in a very special pocket. Secret.
Okay.
Treasure maps.
And below that, no, I'm not done. So that is kind of shown on like the right hand side of that. And then you kind of unroll it some more, and to the left of that you see some scribblings. This is not written in the ancient Sith language. It's actually written in Galactic Common.
I know coming.
This particular Sith Lord was not well versed in, academics, as far as writings and the ancient Sith text or lettering could have actually been made after his time, it seems like. What you see is an image of what looks to be a large albino direwolf with an elongated nose, and it has eagle's feet. So it's got the three feet, and they're kind of scaly on all 4 legs. And you also see the scales, the same kind of scales that are on like an eagle's feet, are running down the nose, and it has piercing. Strangely enough, it shows piercing blue eyes shown on this script, and underneath it, you see Lothal is written underneath this white direwolf.
Can I do like a history check to know if I would know any sort of tales about this creature? If I know what it is or shenanigans? What was a 10?
History. You know Lothal is a planet. You know that this is simply known as a Lothal cat. It's a mythical creature. That is it. You know it's a creature that is that's home is the planet of Lothal.
And
Does Volvo see anything, pedestals or anything that he can poke around while this is happening?
Yeah, roll me an investigation.
and these 4 stars, like, or the 4 planets, would I know like the center of them? Is that where this planet is located by any chance, or is that completely different? Because I don't know the planets off the top of my head.
No. You don't know specifically too much about the mapping of planets. You just know the names of said planets. A 9? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're kind of doing the same thing. Vola, you're kind of poking around.
Yeah, just
Okay.
he's a provider, so there's something stored. So I'm just looking.
Okay, so you're kind of looking in containers and things like that. So you find some urns and some large
All right, totally
pots.
doing Diablo, just breaking urns. You know.
So you're actually breaking urns?
No, I'm just
You're opening. Okay.
just looking.
All right. So you're just kind of opening, peeking, looking in there. What you see is a lot of what you would assume to be rare spices, not spice. It seems like they tried to make the afterlife as pleasant as possible for the Sith Lord. And what you do notice is that the objects that you're finding are from people that cared in a way for this person. It seems like the gifts are not extravagant as you would think of someone that was loved. You know, they're not a bunch of golden items. They're not ancient relics. They're relatively common.
Did the bare minimum. They paid their.
They paid their dues, and that was it. Yeah, this was not a well-loved Sith Lord amongst his people. He was respected, he was feared, not well-loved. So you're not finding a whole lot here.
Did I find any weapons looking around after I tucked this map creature
Not
thing away?
even a ceremonial dagger. Nothing.
Was this almost a pyramid when we came down to investigate?
No. When you came down, it was completely flat in this valley. But you've also traveled a fair few hundred feet. So you don't know if you could be at the bottom of a pyramid.
So my navigator would have scanned the area to see multiple areas like this.
Quite possibly. He was looking specifically for structures with technology. And this did not show up as a structure with technology.
So we could Tomb Raider the whole area.
Mm-hmm.
Where is Skathos compared to the spirit right now?
The spirit is hovering basically within like 2 or 3 feet of him. Staying close.
I won't go over there. Where's Volwa compared to the spirit?
I would assume Volwa is probably 20 or 30 feet away, depending on where Skathos is.
Do we have comms?
I'm gonna go up to Volwa and I'm gonna like tug on.
Yeah, you guys should have comms by now.
I'm gonna tug on like one of his pant legs or, you know, tentacle or whatever thing. I'm gonna like kind of pull on him because I'm
Grab
shorter
his
than him
face.
a little bit. Yeah, like. Captain Man, Captain Man, there's no weapons. There's a warrior, but there's no weapons. You have to find the weapons. I have somewhere to hide in. And I'm gonna scamper away. Like, this is a treasure hunt. We have to find the weapons.
Wow, no.
Okay. By this time, Amick, you would have retrieved the heart from the body. Safely.
God, I wish I
So
knew
you
the
have
map
this
they had.
pulsating purple heart. And it seems like not only pulsating and it's purple, but there's almost seem like there's a storm within the heart. You see what looks like black smoke with lightning coursing through this
So you
heart.
said we had comms. I would say don't deliver yet.
Yeah,
Amick
this
hears
thing's
that.
kind of freaky, guys. I don't know if this thing's actually dead.
Can I look at the guy's bones again? See, like, because, like, are his bones still, like, really set together? Or are there some that aren't, like, completely connected?
Surprisingly
I
enough,
know,
not having any ligaments or any muscle on this body, none of the bones are separated.
I totally remember somebody saying, secure the body. Just saying. Maybe, sort of, so, you know, maybe, like,
But it is just a skeleton, right? Like there's nothing else.
It is
to
a
it.
skeleton in ceremonial cloth robes.
But we could
Without a
totally
helmet.
secure it.
Are there any other fancy jewelry or anything on the robes, or is it just robes and a helmet and that was it?
Just robes and a helmet. What you do notice, though, is that it has a glove over one hand, and the other hand is missing a glove.
Can I take the glove off the other hand?
You see a skeletal hand. No rings,
Oh,
no
maybe
jewelry.
Put both gloves on it.
I'm
Give
gonna
him the heart. It's
keep the
fine.
glove.
Okay. You have a
Um,
black leather glove.
I'm gonna tuck the glove away, and I'm gonna go in front of the spirit and like raise my hand, like waiting, because he told me I'm not allowed to talk. So I'm kind of waiting for him to see if he'll pick on me with my hand raised.
He looks at you and he says, "Yes, little one."
I noticed, that there's no weapons here. You're a warrior though, so there was someone here before us. Did they take your weapons from you?
The last person that I spoke with was a young Padawan learner of the Jedi Order. I think his name was Revan. And I believe he took my saber.
Why did he take your saber but nothing else?
Because he made a deal to carry part of my spirit with him on his travels.
So you can like see what he's doing?
If I so choose. Yes.
Oh, that's exciting. So it's like you're dead, but you're still out there. How do you do that?
When you've mastered as much of the Force as I have, you are never truly gone.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, what is Skathos doing all this? Holding the helmet? Glowing holocron? Spirit dude talking?
Yeah, can I just like turn over this holocron in my hand, like look for any sort of symbols or sigils or anything like that
Uh-huh.
along this thing?
Yeah, so what you see is... So you gotta think this thing is like maybe the size of a softball. But it's perfectly, expertly, masterfully crafted. Everything is clean and smooth. You take a deep look into it and you see what seems like infinite layers of crystal lattice work, and it's almost like a web inside, just crystal upon crystal, just spanning eternity. And along the exterior edges of all the pyramids is a gold trim, and on that gold trim you can see Sith runes, the ones that you've been seeing. And when you hold it flat, you see the three-sided pyramid with the three pyramids on the side. At the very top, there is something slightly different about it than the ones that you've seen previously, like the red ones you received from the Empire. In the top of this, it almost looks like it's a separate pyramid inlaid with its own band of gold going around it. And so it seems like it's a pyramid on top of a pyramid, looking at the top of it. And looking inside that, you actually see the spirit image of Tulak Horde. But the runes you can't really make out. You would assume that they're some kind of containment incantation or a ritual of storing.
Like, well, what would it be called? A holographic image type thing?
Mm-hmm. You would actually roll me another Arcana real quick. This is some dark art shit right here.
All right. 18.
You know that you have a working knowledge of what a Sith holocron is. And a Sith holocron is a collection of knowledge directly from the creator of the holocron. And that the capstone, which is where you see the spirit of Tulak Horde residing in, basically it's just standing there, is part of the spirit of Tulak Horde that would if a wielder was found worthy, the spirit would come out and teach all the knowledge that it learned in its lifetime, because it's all spiritually connected to the creator. So it is essentially, it's a data bank that you would have a holographic teacher that is not on a pre-programmed, it's like a sentient hologram that would teach you its knowledge as long as you were worthy.
All right.
Amic hasn't heard back from the group in a while since he communicated that the heart looks like it's alive, so he's gonna pull out the Ordo dagger and he's gonna try to cut into it.
Okay.
What I was going to say.
So you pull this Ordo dagger out. Are you gonna just try to slice it, or are you gonna stab it?
Yeah, he's just gonna kind of like try to cut into it like you would like a piece of meat.
Okay, just testing it. So you pull the knife across, and strangely enough, the lightsaber seemed to take forever to cut, but this particular knife seems like where the edge of the blade pierces the membrane of this heart, the smoke separates, and it leaves nothing but black flesh. When you pull the knife up, the wound heals, and the smoke returns to where that incision was.
Okay, what does the inside look like when he cuts it open?
You want to cut it open further and separate it?
Yeah.
Okay. So you go at it again.
Bring it back in one piece. He doesn't know that we
That's
didn't
true.
like cut this thing up.
So as you're cutting it, this knife, as it's cutting deeper and deeper, almost looks like Moses splitting the Red Sea. The flesh is curling back, and it almost seems like while the knife is in place, none of this storm is escaping. But as soon as you start to pull the knife away, you start to see that billowing black and silver smoke that you saw coming out of the wounds of the Dashad that you killed previously, and then the heart closes back up.
Okay, that's weird. So what happens if he just stabs the knife and leaves it like stuck in it?
Leaving it stuck in it. So do you want to pierce all the way through?
Yeah,
Clean-
he just like
clean through.
carries it up to the hill.
Up to the hill. Okay.
Not to metagame, but is he hearing anything?
No. Utter silence. Just maybe the sound of a squish when you stab into it. So you stab through it, and then you see that smoke separate and kind of form a barrier. There's like a barrier of just nothingness in the center where the knife blade touches this. And then slowly this nothingness begins to like almost looks like lightning, but it's more like it's cracking. And it's like when you put an ice cube in water and it kind of starts to shatter, but it's still maintained. You start to see that. You see these fractures pulling from the knife, and it's starting to expand through the heart.
He's just gonna leave it stuck in it for a while. See what happens.
Okay.
Well, he's just waiting, so...
Yeah.
I told him not to come yet.
Yeah, so after a couple minutes, it does not completely consume the heart, but it's basically, from what you can tell, only the outermost edge of this heart is maintaining the storm. The rest of the heart, radiating from the blade, is pure nothingness. It doesn't even look black. It looks like looking into space. You just can't see beyond it.
Always uses his comms. How's it looking with the heart?
Same as I just said. What do you guys want me to do?
So basically, he repeated everything he just saw.
Did he?
No.
No.
He's just gonna say, nope.
He's
I'm
got the
still
heart.
waiting. What do you want me to do?
Sel is gonna like hide behind an urn and like
Okay.
kind of poke around, make sure the spirit can't see him. He's gonna talk into the comm, and he's going to say, the spirit guy, if he can travel with people, I don't know if we should give him the heart. It sounds fishy to me because he can already see the spirit with people. So what does he need the heart for? What if he comes back? And so what if he came took his lightsaber? So now he doesn't have a lightsaber in this. But I don't know about this. I don't know. And I like poke my head around the urn again, make sure the spirit isn't looking at me.
Yeah, no, he's
Follow
not paying
as
attention to
the,
you. He's
spirit.
wholly focused on Skathos right now.
So what happens if the heart dies when he extracts it?
Who are you asking?
Follow as the spirit.
Judging by what year it is currently, it's gonna be a long while before that heart dies. If I don't get it, I will find another way.
What do you need the heart for? And I'm like hurrying, like throw my hands over my mouth, like I didn't mean to say that loud, but now it's too late.
It will expedite my ascension to becoming the Sithari, the god of the Sith.
Skathos.
That sounds incredibly aspirational of you.
Well, when you've held your spirit on for thousands of years, what's a little extra time?
Can I go and inspect the doorway to see why he wasn't able to leave with the helmet and the whole that thingamajigger?
Certainly. Yeah, you can inspect the runes. Give me an Arcana check, please. 8.
An 8.
There she is.
I am
Magical
shitty with
runes.
that every time.
Magical runes.
The spell runes, it just doesn't understand.
You think a wizard did it?
Snake man's language. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense. Can I try and grab that piece of charred wood I had from my pack and try and scratch one of the runes out? Or is it like deep embedded into the stone?
It's deeply embedded into the stone. Oh, excuse me, into the stone.
Dang it. Ah! I'm gonna mark over it with charred wood, though. Leave a little black marking of scribbles. Stick the wood back away.
Strangely enough, what you see is that you see kind of a purple shimmer go down this door, and right where that charcoal is now no purple, and then the purple shimmer goes away.
Ooh. I'm gonna look back at the spirit and kind of like really obviously act like I'm not doing anything and grab out my charcoal wood again and start scribbling over more of the runes.
Okay. I'm gonna have him make a stealth check, please.
28.
Oh, God damn it. Alright. What is an ancient Sith Lord? You know, I'm gonna give him advantage because he's an ancient Sith Lord. Oh, fuck, he still doesn't get a 28. Alright, he does not notice that you're scribbling over the runes, and what you're noticing is that from your height, which is, what, 3 feet?
3 feet-ish.
Okay, so from 3 feet down to the ground, you're starting to see the purple fade into a small opening. Not big enough for you to crawl through. You think you could just walk through the door, but you're noticing that it's fading. And you go to work on the floor, and you're noticing that this once is a little slit, it's now starting to open into a triangle as you start to cover more runes.
Okay, I'm gonna make like an opening, like maybe big enough for me. And
Okay.
And do you relay this to everybody?
Look, man. Can you come here for a second for me, please? I have a question.
So you do know that Amic walked right through the door just fine.
Huh?
It's just that the artifacts got stopped at the door.
Yeah, the artifacts were stopped.
Yep.
Yes, well, kind of busy here staring down this Sith Lord.
We can talk
Mr.
about
Man.
that. It's not a big deal. It's not like we can labor or anything. I mean, just a question on this pebble over here. Is it as shiny as the one you saw in the other room, or is it less shiny? Because I kind of need to know. Just come here, Snake Man.
Gathos would like to lean in, like, ear level close with Cell as he's, like, leaning over her.
Mm-hmm.
That's Cell.
Can I see the helmet? Just for a second. Just for a second.
Well, Cell, I'm afraid that could be a very bad idea. You'll see, this particular Tulak horde is capable of forcing his will upon another. And I think that if I were to hand this to you, you might possibly become the no-host body for our spiritual friend. So I don't think I can hand you the helmet.
You hear from behind you. I wouldn't embody a Jawa if my life depended on it.
It's okay. I can just see the helmet real quick. It'll be super quick. It's not a big deal.
No offense intended to the Jawa people, but I don't believe that this man was known for speaking in truths all the time either.
Okay, what can I say?
You can roll a check if you want. I mean, that's fine.
I'll roll an insight check to see if this guy's a Jawa racist.
No, you
No,
think this is
be a
totally
Jawa.
like Lord of the Rings, that Jawas have, enhanced resilience against Sith Lords.
All right, well, before I hand this off, if anything happens, I hope you know that you accept full responsibility for it. As unfortunately you had borrowed no coin from me, your life is
Not valuable
as
at all.
valuable for me, but you have been quite useful on the engines at times. Here you go.
Okay. Now, let me see. I'm gonna like look back to the Sith Lord one more time as I grab the helmet. Like, is he still watching us? I don't want him to watch.
Oh yeah, he's like a floating head right over Skathos' shoulder. So you grab the helmet.
I'm just gonna like inspect it and act like I'm just really just looking at it. Hardcore.
I need you to make me a Constitution save with disadvantage.
I knew it!
4.
Oh!
Oh no!
And what you hear
No!
God.
is an awful cackle. Oh, you have the chains of hate about you. Oh, this will make this very easy.
Oh dear.
As you see the spirit
What's happening?
jump from the helmet, lift itself on, set itself on Sel's head,
Oh,
and
dear.
the chains
This
of
is
hate
bad.
come out of her pack and engulf her left hand as she grabs Skathos by the neck and lifts him off the ground using the
I
force.
can't reach his neck.
And that's where we'll pick up next week.
What? No!
Damn it, Sel!
I was just gonna take the helmet and run.
Ah,
Ah, you warned me. Why didn't I listen?
This is fun.
really? Why didn't you listen?
I just like this little triangle, perfect and self-inflicted. If I can just grab these 2 artifacts and run.
You know, I'm sure Amick has got a couple thermal detonators. He could just collapse the thing and just walk away.
Right?
Oh no.
I mean, he could just leave right now. He does have a spaceship.
He does have a spaceship.
He
And a
could get a
fancy
new
looking
crew.
heart.
That's not
gotta be
that's
worth
not
something.
too hard to get a new crew.
No, not for a Mandalorian.
Like, he'll just take this heart, he'll deliver it to the Sith guy, be like, this is what I got for you. It came out of this ancient, fucking creature that's been feeding on the Force for years. Here you go, have fun. And then he's just gonna take off.
Oh, man.
I'm stuck in a helmet.
Oh, Jesus.
Of all numbers to roll a 4, why did I have to have disadvantage?
Because you had a piece of his gear on your person.
Damn it! Why did I steal his glove?
Which, I'm not going to tell you, but it acts as a conduit for the dark side.
Lucky you. Wow.
And we'll just throw some
What are the
ominous music
chances?
for on the way out here.
Oh, stuck, man. It's stuck on my head now.
And we're not playing on Sunday? At all?
No, it's Mother's Day, and I don't have a babysitter, and yeah.
Okay.
So 2 weeks!
I guess I'll go
But-
get cards at the game store or something.
But, in 2 weeks, we'll have a 4-hour session.
That's
So
true.
maybe we can start getting into some of the interesting things.
Maybe, because I have no idea what's going on with this fucking heart and this dagger. Like, mechanically speaking, I have no fucking clue. I'm just like okay. I don't get it.
Honestly,
He's just like,
I don't
stab
either.
me.
This is
Like,
great.
stab me again. What is this?
I suggest wood chipper. Just saying.
But like the storm's not like gone away. It's
Not
just,
completely.
Like slowed it or frozen it or like I don't know. I just don't understand.
Oh,
Well,
God, if
I
we
mean,
give it to
in
him,
time,
we're fucked.
it's like it's not quite. I mean, you guys have only been in there for like 35 minutes, so you don't know if it might take longer to snuff out the last of the force storm that's in this heart.
Does that mean my dagger like absorbs the force like this thing did? Don't know.
Maybe. Or it could be doing something else entirely.
I don't know.
Lots of intrigue. I like it.
Oh
Hopefully that's a lot of questions that you guys start chasing after. It'd be great.
Frank?
So many.
By the way, this is not what I had planned for my cool shit that's going to happen.
Oh no, we totally went down the rabbit hole and just like, what's that? Let's fuck it. Let's do that.
I honestly, I didn't know what I was going to do with them, but you know, the Jaw was really fucking with him. He's like, I'm going to take your shit. And he's like, well, I'm going to take your life.
I was just curious, like,
See what you get?
I was just seeing if there was anything like really disturbed about his body, like seeing if there was someone else. Eventually, I just had to straight up and ask him because I couldn't find anything.
Hey, where's your sword? I need it.
I was just like, well, that's weird because you mentioned he's a warrior. There's no weapons. I'm like, where's the weapons? Majawa, I have to find the shit.
Well, let's put it this way. If you survive whatever this helmet has in store for you, you might gain some information. Just like Skathos did when he briefly touched spirits.
Yeah, Skathos is... He's the villain in this. I gave him the reins. He could have put a little leash on her. No.
That is true.
Just let her out.
You did hand that right over to her.
Well, absolutely.
I thought about
I wanted this thing off of my person. I only grabbed it from Amick with hopes to immediately tuck it away into Cell's backpack until that thing happened. And I was like, okay, nope. Gonna be holding on to this for a while so no one else has to make a save. Here you go anyways, though.
Well, I was planning on taking it, running out the doorway with it, and just be like, sorry, you two, you're stuck with him, but I still his helmet.
You could have just had Skathos put the helmet through the hole.
Yeah, but I didn't want to
Skathos
tell
totally
him my
pulled the
plan.
pin and handed it to Cell. Said, okay, run. Go.
I'm sneakier than Skathos, so if like something were to happen, I could disappear with it, and I knew that. But now,
I wish you would have realized that the spirit is attached to the helmet, because the spirit was following wherever the helmet was. It's attached to the helmet.
That's what I was okay with handing the helmet over. I was like, okay.
The helmet and the crystal kept traveling with each other.
But the fact you kept it as a mental transfer, I was like, I can't say nothing. Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this will be interesting how we handle this next week.
He said he would rather die than be stuck in a Jawa. He lied.
He lied. Yeah, he's an ancient Sith Lord. Of course, he's gonna lie to
Don't
you.
you kind of want him
What?
to
The
win?
Sith Lord lied? I can't believe this.
Why would
Right?
he
Sith Lord
want to
lied
be
to me?
stuck in a Jawa?
Don't you kind of want him to win though? Because that means a Jawa will conquer the galaxy.
That would be kinda cool.
Actually, that's pretty cool. I didn't even think about that.
Damn it,
We're on your
Jawa,
side.
the
We're on
galaxy.
your side.
It's like, my lord, I serve you. What do you want from me?
All
I
the
want
All
you to
the
win.
catches said pretty pearls.
That's how we
He's
started.
like,
the job.
oh, I need a new body. No, you have to stay in that one, otherwise I'm going to kill you.
Oh man, I was not planning on possession, but it worked out.
Why? Because Amick had already made the save and he was just holding it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
Amy's
was-
not going to give it away to someone else.
He already held
did.
it, and then he was
Gave it
like,
to
"Oh, I'm gonna
Skathos.
get the heart. Can't go through the door. Well, here's Skathos."
Found a way
Yeah,
to get through
and-
the door.
We give it to the responsible person of the party. It's like, okay, Cell, here you go. Damn it, Scanthos, really?
Well, after Volvo just went down in the last fight, I wasn't going to hand it off to him.
I'm very
Actually, that could have been
persuasive.
detrimental to Vola too. So
Oh yeah, I would have totally just bit it.
I can just disappear now, so it's all good.
I'm curious.
Damn that
I'm
floating
curious to
head.
see. I'm gonna have to look up rules of possession. No. No, I'm gonna come up with something cool. We'll figure it out.
I have
It's
a first
advantage
floor of
all
my
attacks
place.
just because of height.
Just
'Cause she is. Hey, I know Yoda, and she is no Yoda.
oh no. I'm baseline Jawa for sure. There's nothing
Man, you guys
special.
could really use a cleric right now. Too bad you
Maybe.
left it back on the ship.
Right?
Yeah, we
Fucking
can
douche.
drag his
We
out
lost
more
17.
often.
Come find us. Simon,
You know, Rogue
good
One,
job.
Rogue One, that dude just came out on his own. Ours is like, okay, I'm staying here.
They told
Well.
him to stay.
That's more information that Scathos has that he hasn't relayed to everyone else yet. So
Because this thing is like in my mind. It's like
no.
watching me, so not-
I'm talking about the robot.
Oh, for that, yeah. That was completely as a backup plan. Like in case we got blown up, I'd be like, well, at least someone was tracking us.
Alright, when I was dead, he wasn't tracking us. Come on, Scathos.
Queso still has the ship to escape on. Like if Paula goes down, we
Oh,
still got
that's
the
horrible.
Scathos is like, I'm invisible, bitches. I'm out.
I'm not a fighter.
Metroid is Scathos' backup, not our backup.
So Scathos is the villain of the campaign.
Well,
Dark Lord of the
Queso's
Sith.
not brought on. These guys owe him money, you know. If they just try to ditch him, he's got to have a way to track him down.
But the Sith Lord did say, hey, you've already got the Sith stuff in you. And you like, yeah, fuck it, yeah, let's do it. What is that all about?
Why not?
It offers you power. Like, hey, I'm gonna give you power. Like, okay, yeah, take it. Why not?
This is all about
We've
learning
been-
things.
We've been totally independent so far. And you were like, fuck it, Dark Lord, let's do it.
Yeah,
Now the
Why
Jawas
not?
be Dark Lord.
Snake.
well, that's just racist.
Ah. It's totally good with that, you little snake.
God, I can't wait 2 weeks. Between these two games, I'm just gonna like have an anxiety attack with all the stuff happening. I'm like, I can't wait.
Well, I guess we have to play on Sunday then. Sorry, Lucas.
I
Tell your
can't
story,
run it.
I can't wait to see who has more fucking homework between the two of y'all. It's like, well, I don't know. I'm on another stream. What are you talking about? What? Everything's turned upside down on my end. Yeah, okay. Me too.
I blew up a whole planet.
Mm.
I'm gonna go make dinner.
All right, see you.
I'm going.
Later, guys.
Hope you enjoyed.
Have a
Yeah.
wonderful evening. Till 2 weeks from now. Jesus.